Who are we?
Nobodies!
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We're Canadian filmmakers with the dream of surviving financially on the backs of our films.
Welcome to our show where we bring people along on our film journey.
Maybe we can learn a thing or two.
Maybe we can teach people a thing or two while drinking beers.
I mean, if you can't drink beers while filmmaking, what's the point?
We are Fable Forest Films, failing our way to success.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, our show. First frames first. We are rolling sound. Welcome to First Frames First, episode 8. I'm co-host Jason Green.
Yo, I'm Adrian Constant. Thank you very much for joining us.
We're going to quickly talk about what kind of show we're going to have today. Our show is unofficially sponsored by Land Shark Lager today. Completely different beer.
Never had it.
Never had this beer before.
This is a first sip for you as well?
Yeah.
Land Shark Lager.
Okay. Ooh.
That's an interesting kind of taste. It kind of tastes a little like old socks right at the end there.
Yeah. Okay. This might not be...
Hey, it does the job.
Hang tight. We're going to finish the rest of these beers and then we'll see what happens. This is the independent film podcast journey from Fable Forest Films. Today, our plan is to look back. We started this podcast in March. We're doing them every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. They release on Wednesdays. We're going to look back at when we did our big goals episode for 2017 back in March, and just see where what our goals were quickly, where we are today, see if we're making any progress or if we've hit any of our benchmarks. Talk about the scripts that are making rough progress, but we're going to talk about a little bit about what we want to do there. Get back into our son of a pitch segment a little bit.
Yeah. And that's, for me, that's the most exciting piece or portion that we have, which is actually, and this is actually a series of ideas that we're actually developing, and we're going to run through them from beginning to end.
Stay tuned, because I have a special announcement.
Boom.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, and this is the thing that I love most about this, is that we're mapping our journey as we go through the process of doing it. Mm-hmm. Whether it's right or wrong. It's just the way that we do it.
For sure. I mean, I think the fun of this is you can follow along with the company and see when we fuck up, see when we're having some successes.
Yeah.
And, just see what our thought process is as we go. This week's a little depressing. Adrian came in today with wearing his heart on his sleeve, so we could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? There's lots of ups and downs when you're an artist, right? So, or when you're trying to be. So,
yeah, one of the things also to talk about is the fact that this is not the podcast that was scheduled for this week. We'll also talk about how that podcast got turned into dust. And
we had an amazing podcast for all of you.
Embarrassingly amazing.
Yeah, and we lost it. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to, we're going to talk one more time. We've mentioned it, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. We have a new segment coming out onto our YouTube channel called Filmmaker Flashcards. We fucked that up too. Don't you worry. It was up for 5 seconds. Some people got to see it,
yeah.
and then it's down now. But we're gonna get it back up, and we're gonna keep going. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And we'll talk about that, yeah. And and I suppose when we touch on goals and benchmarks, we're gonna start reverse engineering sort of what we need the next movie to accomplish in order for us to achieve our goal in 3 or 4 movies.
Yeah. And start asking questions.
Yes.
Because there's things that we don't know, right?
Absolutely.
And try to get into that. And then when we have questions, try to find the answers.
That's right.
Yeah. So, let me ask you a question. We're doing really good. Today, we professionally recapped everything.
Where we are.
What we're going to do on this show.
Yes.
And we've only been talking for like 4 minutes.
That's really good.
So, should we talk about the podcast that we fucked up? And then we can...
And then we cut it out, and then we cut? Yeah, sure.
So, our good friend and genius actor, Derek Lackenbauer, from episode 7. If you listen to the last episode, he was our special guest for the entire show. Last week, he said, "Guys, my wife and my children are not going to be at our trailer until all the way through Friday night and way into Saturday afternoon. You guys should come over and have a fire and drink beers and eat burgers."
Amazing burgers.
So good.
Yeah, they were when somebody's, they've taken the mince and they've mashed it with their own hands.
Made
it was
with
so
love.
delicious. Yeah, very delicious.
He acted anyways, I don't know. So we were very excited. We packed all of our gear. We had GoPros. How many microphones did we have? 3?
Yeah, two, one each. We had one each. Yeah.
So,
but we had. I mean, not only Derek, we also had Christian Koenig, who's an audio. He has his own music studio called Red Room, the Red Room here in Kitchener, Waterloo, and
has been involved with both Bickerman's Grove and I Was a Greenhouse.
Yeah, and so he brought his mic system and everything.
So we sat down to a great dinner, and we were saying we should just turn on the podcaster and start going right now. And everybody wanted to get, they wanted to put a couple beers in them first. They wanted to eat burgers and start loosening up a little bit before they got on camera. Not everybody's a professional and can just wing it.
Like us.
So we were pretty lit, and we're sitting around a campfire, and we podcast for 2 hours? It was a solid show.
Yeah, it was good. We drank a lot of beer, and we talked about audio a lot.
We introduced Christian, who was our on-set audio recordist for 2 movies.
It was a good show. It was long, as usual, but it was a good show. There was some gems.
We talked about pros and cons of capturing audio. We talked about problems that we had on set with Greenhouse, how we improved for Bickerman's Grove, tips and tricks. The show was really quite good, even though we were pretty drunk and a little silly and all over.
I mean, the flow of the show was a little bit bumpy, but there was some real gems in there.
And then
we
found out that our audio recorder was not.
It crapped out. So I'll just tell people, maybe there's somebody out there who's a technical genius who knows what's going on. But the card I used was a mini SD card with an SD card adapter into the portable recorder, which is a Tascam, and we hit the record button, and we got our red record light on the Tascam, which is all fine and dandy. Now I've used this card in cameras, I've used it in a drone, I've used, you know what I mean? I've used this little mini SD card a bunch of places, and the red light remained solid,
right,
meaning record,
right,
on the device for the full time that we were talking. For about an hour and 45 minutes, it was solid red. And then all of a sudden, it started blinking, and then it said file error. I can't even remember exactly what the prompt was that came up, but it was basically, and we weren't sure if there was any audio. And then last night, when I went to go and put the audio on the machine and actually put out the podcast, there was nothing.
So that sucked.
Nothing.
So the good thing though is that we're filming this podcast on Monday for release on Wednesday, so it's fresh. It's gonna be fresh.
Very
totally
fresh.
fucked it up. Okay, so what do you think? You wanna shut this down and keep going?
Thanks for joining us, guys. Video peeps on YouTube. If you want to listen to the whole show, head over to thefableforest.com. Go to First Frames First tab, and this podcast will be top of the list.
Yep. Have a. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Don't be stupid and enjoy First Frames First. No,
right.
Enjoy Filmmaker flashcards, because that will be coming out, the revised version.
Okay, so let's talk. Here's what we want to do. We want to shut this off, and just be finished with the fuck ups, and we're gonna right. So I don't know why, for fun, but our first Filmmaker flashcards was Bryan Singer.
No one knows why. It was just the first thing that came out of your mind, out of your mouth.
I don't know why, but Bryan Singer must have been on my mind. And by the way, this was really fortuitous, because you remember how at the end of Filmmaker flashcards you were like, dun dun dun, to be continued? Mm-hmm. He's doing a new X-Men TV show called The Gifted, so we should
Get the shit out of here.
We should put that in. It
No.
looks...
No, we've got to move on.
No, we got to move on. Okay, fine, whatever.
We have to move on.
Bryan Singer is running the TV show called Gifted. It seems very much like Heroes, but it's all about X-Men, like young X-Men characters and things like that. Anyways, we spelled his name wrong. So
Brian is what the way that I put it, and when I went to go double check things on IMDb,
right,
it was Bryan.
So basically, spell check is what. But I mean, it wouldn't have caught it.
Yeah, and the thing is that in most of my posts, it was Singer. Singer.
Right.
So it was only on the title card where I fucked it up. Anyway.
And then the YouTube title.
Guys.
So we're going to fix that. Enjoy Filmmaker flashcards.
And work hard.
I mean, dream big first. Then work hard.
Thanks for watching our YouTube video.
First frames first.
Yes. First frames first. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome.
If you enjoyed, head over to our website, www.thefableforest.com. Check out our films and sign up for our newsletter where we will send you exclusive content.
Hit us up on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, always at The Fable Forest. And share our show with your friends. It'll really help us out a lot.
Dream big.
Work hard.